It is a windy Sunday in Sacramento. Rivalry weekend continues for Game 3 against the San Francisco Giants in the 916. The fans are out, we are ready to go, and we can feel the wind all the way up here in the booth. Alongside my broadcast partner, Dallas Braden, I'm Chris Carey. It's been an interesting series for the A's, split at one apiece between the A's and the Giants, now hoping for a very big win today.
You talk about the wind, the Athletics looking to blow out of town with a Series W under their belt, and the winning got started in Game 1 for the Green and Gold, spearheaded by a great effort on the mound from Aaron Savali, who was absolutely surgical. Cut fastballs to both sides of the plate, dominating lefties and righties. You had great defense, and how about the big swing from the big fella, Nick Kurtz? Well, Game 2, old McDonald on the bump for the Giants, and he was farming early outs, and he was farming them often, and he was backed by a big game from Casey Schmidt at the plate, as well as the Giants offense looking to get their things together offensively.
A's looking to finish their home stand strong and with a series win against the Giants. The wind is in play, but they are looking for a win. It's the Green and Gold against San Francisco when we come back.
A's Baseball is brought to you by Toyota. Class-leading MPG and more hybrid models than any other brand. Toyota, let's go places.
Southpaw takes the field for the A's in the series finale against the San Francisco Giants. We've got a windy one at the ballpark. Game time weather today is brought to you by Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. And to touch on that a little bit more, look at the flags whipping. 70 degrees, so comfortable, but 25 to 35 mile per hour wind gusts. It is not a gale forced wind, but it is very close at that 35 mph mark.
Time now for StatCast, powered by Google Cloud. Chris, with you up here, there's a lot of hot air blowing around, but down there, air a little cooler. We're talking high velo, 34, 35, 36 miles an hour. And obviously, Chris, as we start to ascend in the atmosphere, the wind picks up steam. Something to pay attention to. We're going to have a lot of pop-up priority put to the test this afternoon for both sides. Communication paramount today with defense.
Here's the Giants starting lineup brought to you by your Bay Area Chevrolet dealers. It's Harrison Bader leading off. And you can see Drew Gilbert and Eric Haas, 8 and 9. Haas gets the start in the series finale.
The southpaw on the mound today, Jeffrey Springs. You got to love having a lefty out there today, Chris, especially a left-hander with the kind of changeup that Jeffrey Springs is featuring. That thing could turn into a dive-bombing weapon this afternoon with the wind blowing the way it is. Remember the outing for the left-hander last time against the Cardinals. Surrendered 4 in the first inning, but was able to settle down and get the team through 5. This is a Giants offense that we have seen start to swing the bat a bit better.
Bader gets it in the air, and look how it just travels out of play. The defensive alignment for the Athletics looks like this today. They're going to have their work cut out for them, Dallas, especially in the outfield. Soderstrom in left, Butler in center, Cortez in right, Geloff and Kurtz on the corners, Hernandez and McNeil up the middle, and the Gold Glover, Jonah Heim in harness. There's the changeup, 2 balls and 1 strike.
We saw how quickly that foul ball got out of play, and that's why I talked about the changeup being a weapon today for Springs, maybe even more so than it typically is.
Called strike behind the plate from...
Looks like we're going to have an ABS challenge here.
Announcement from Steven Jashinsky, and it is an ABS challenge powered by T-Mobile, and the Giants burn one.
Very, very close, and really it was pretty similar to the same spot as the first pitch of the ballgame, which I thought looked pretty good.
Excuse me. Giants did not burn the challenge. Now a walk. The umpiring crew today, Steven Jashinsky behind the plate, Jansen Visconti at first, Alex Tosi at second, and Corey Blazer, crew chief at third. Rise tries to go with a bunt.
Well, it's Steven Jashinsky behind the plate this afternoon. Native of Ontario, Canada. Started umpiring in the amateur leagues at the ripe old age of 9. That's right, 9. And as far as the challenges go, been challenged 12 times in 2 games behind the plate this season and has been overturned in half of them. So 6 challenges overturned. Arise flashing the bunt again. So on behalf of Steven Jashinsky, sorry if you have an issue with the strike zone.
That may be something we see a little bit more, Dallas, considering if you get a leadoff base runner aboard, the way the wind is whipping the baseball around. Runners in scoring position may be hard to come by. 1-2.
Well, and it feels like if there's anybody in this game today that's going to be able to manipulate the baseball at the plate seemingly at will, it's this fella right here in Luis Arise. You know, I think there's a couple different approaches that you may see. How's that treating you? Man.
Hit in the air to left. Soderstrom makes the catch.
But from a left-on-left perspective, depending on what type of approach you have at the plate, you could see lefties try to get up on the plate and take away the outside part and really just try to pull the baseball with today's wind and the way it's going to play today, because anything up in the air to the right side could be very, very problematic. Anything hit into center field, left field, really we're talking about into the teeth of the wind. That ball is going to die quickly like you just saw.
You and I were talking off air, especially with right-handed hitters, how they will address the left-hander Jeffrey Springs and how they will set up in the box with the wind playing the way that it has to start the game.
Well, and again, I think just kind of depending on your approach, which is going to vary from hitter to hitter, you can go about it a couple different ways. And if you're wondering what it's going to do in terms of carrying, I mean, you're talking about killing almost 100 feet worth of distance. Ball out to left field. I mean, that's incredible.
Missed inside, 1 ball and 1 strike.
But from a right-hander perspective, you think about maybe giving some thought to backing off the plate a bit and turning the inside portion of the zone into middle into away, and away being an area where you could look out and maybe even start to dive if you're trying to elevate the ball to the right side. Or if you feel like, hey, I'm not trying to necessarily get under the baseball, but I do want to cheat to a pitch inside, you could think about creeping up on the plate and cheating to pitches in. So really just depending on what you're comfortable with as a hitter, a couple of different ways you might be able to go about it.
There's a changeup for a called strike, 2-2. Casey Schmidt, 357 against left-handed pitchers. Had his second career multi-home run game last night after going 4 for 5. Throw over to first. Back in standing up is Bader.
Well, this is a Giants offense just in terms of overall team average against lefties in the better half of the league in terms of collective average, 246 against southpaws as a group.
Two pitch swept into right field. It'll drop in front of Cortez. And you could see Bader hold up because the way the wind is playing, it could have carried out a little bit further. That's another thing to take into consideration, the base runners, how they will react to the ball being put in play.
Well, you're going to be tested. A ball up in the air, you know, typically you start to see guys go halfway. You want to make sure the ball is either caught or down. But Bader, and I think wisely so, kind of hits the brakes. You got to feel this thing out today.
Rafael Devers is up 2 for 8 on the series. He hits it high in the air to left. Soderstrom shifts back, now comes in and makes the catch.
Well, this is where you just simply cannot give up on the ball. And I think Daryl Hernandez, Zach Geloff specifically, really have to be on their toes this afternoon. You can see Soderstrom essentially camped off the bat, but knowing you're going to have to continue to creep in and track that baseball, you're going to earn your money today as a defender.
Making sure they're on the same page too, Dallas. Be something we'll talk about more on this broadcast as play resumes. First pitch strike. Willie Adames has been a tough player to get out this series. 5 for 9 against the Athletics. 413 over his last 7 games. And his average now up to 235. A 1 in the air to center. Butler moves over and makes the catch. Scoreless first for Springs. Now it's time for the A's bats to test the win. It is Nick Kurtz leading off, then Cortez, another lefty, followed by Rooker and Soderstrom, Jeff McNeil, Zach Geloff bats 6th, then Butler, Heim, and Hernandez follow.
And the right-hander on the mound for the matinee, Adrian Hauser, takes ball for the Giants this afternoon. Coming off an outing against the Dodgers, threw the ball pretty well, 5 2/3 under his belt, couple earned runs, did punch out 4, got through that ball game on 91 pitches.
First pitch outside, 1 ball and no strikes. So 3rd straight right-handed starter the Giants will use against the A's. Time is called by Steven Jashinsky behind the plate. Kurtz at 270, 8 home runs, 29 runs batted in, batting .361 during the day this year. Wind still whipping, and late to a sinker, 1-1.
And with Hauser, the sinker baller, on the mound, what you could see, and I understand people might be thinking, really, you think the wind's going to impact the flight of the baseball 60 feet away? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Remember, we're in a day and age where guys understand more so than they ever have the trajectory of the baseball and how the seams and how you can shift the seams and the movement can help. But just to remind folks who might not watch us as much, in this ballpark, you understand that the elements affect the flight of the baseball, whether it's off the bat or out of the hand, more so than you're going to see at any other ballpark. And that's just by virtue of the lack of the extra decks. And so out of the hand, right-handed sinker baller with a crosswind today, you could see that baseball kind of flatten out a bit.
Leadoff walk, Kurtz reaches base again. 40 straight games reaching base safely, continuing to set more and more milestones for himself in 2026. Tying your buddy, Jack Cust.
Custy, we told you he was coming for you, big fella. Nick Kurtz now tied with Jack Cust. And he's got the man of steel in his sights. Still a ways to get to Big Mac.
Here's Cortez, first pitch breaking ball called strike, 0-1. Carlos came off the bench and pitch hit in the 8th last night in a 6-4 victory for San Francisco that evened up the series at 1 apiece. Tapped foul, 0-2. San Francisco's defense looks like this afternoon. In the outfield, it's Eric Haas in left. The Gold Glover Bader in center, Gilbert in right. The Gold Glover Chapman at third. Devers across the diamond at first. Adames and Arise up the middle, and Susac behind the plate. How about Eric Haas making a start in left field? His first start in left field this year for San Francisco.
Go get him, fella.
Has a little bit of time in left under his belt, though. 0-2 pitch is high, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
It's like getting to go play left field for the first time in a cyclone. Should be fun.
You talk about Steven Jashinsky starting umpiring at age 9. Well, Tony Vitello started coaching at age 23. 1-2, a swing and a miss. Changeup does Cortez in, and 1 is away.
Not a bad pitch there from Hauser. Ball stays in. Cortez to just wave and miss over top.
Rooker on a 4-game hitting streak made some noise late in the game last night. He had a 3-run home run in the 8th inning. It's interesting to think about if that same spot happened, where the ball would travel to if he hit it the exact same way with the wind playing today.
Yeah, Matt Chapman might be making that play. I mean, that ball was hammered, but the idea that the wind built for the big moment by your Bay Area Chevy dealers, and there it was, 407 feet. Like it's short off the clubhouse. That ball was touched.
He hits this one in the air to right center field. It's whipping back, backtracking Gilbert, and he's got it for the second out. I mean, Bader moved a long way into the alley in right center, and the wind caught it, and it curled all the way back into the right fielder's glove for Gilbert to put away Rooker.
Off the bat, Bader had a beat on it, and you could see that he quickly realized that ball is going to end up nowhere near me. That's why I talked about the communication today in the outfield, not only between the outfield group, but especially left field, center field balls up in the air coming in on the baseball, outfielders or infielders, excuse me, going back on the ball.
Hauser against Soderstrom, now 1 ball and 1 strike. Tyler cleaning up today. 199 on the season, 5 home runs, 20 runs batted in. Has a pair of doubles this series in 7 chances. Kurtz on first after the leadoff walk. 1-1 pitch, popped up. In comes Chapman. Hauser has made the catch. Fields more than his own position, and he has a scoreless first. And more, everything an athletics fan needs. The NBC Sports California app. Download it now. Well, still some boats out on the river, despite the wind.
Oh, I'll tell you that. Just a miserable day to be on the river.
Yeah.
Absolutely miserable. I don't know how you look out the window and go, yeah, you know what? I'd like to get on a craft with no brakes. Seems like a great idea.
Swing and a miss from Susac, 0-2. Well, you know a little bit about the water. Does the wind have anything to do with if you're going fishing?
Yes, absolutely.
That might be something or a reason for those to go out on the boat, right?
Yeah, well, that's a reason why you stay home. You don't want to deal with that. You're getting blown all over the place.
0-2 pitch, line drive to left, a base hit. Susac, a leadoff single, and he's now 5 for 5 in the 2nd inning this year, batting 1,000 when he comes up in the 2nd.
Well, Susac just jumping all over a pitch up and in. Get the liner over the head of Renee's. And Chris, I typically ask you to go play in traffic for my entertainment, but I wouldn't mind watching you try to put up a tent in this kind of weather. I think I'd pay to see that.
Everything has a price. They've locked up the umbrellas. Oh!
Yep. Charge it to the game.
Just go to the A's team store. Get
yourself a real hat.
Good color scheme, iconic, the iconic A's A. Orange is so last year anyway.
It's summertime.
3 balls and no strikes. When you were playing college ball in Lubbock,
yep,
the environment was a lot like this routinely.
Yeah, pretty much daily. West Texas wind will get you. something you become accustomed to. And I mean, more times than not, you got that West Texas wind blowing from right to left. Here today, from left to right, so a westerly wind.
Strike two.
And speaking of college ball, you brought up Tony Vitello. Squared off against Tony V. Tony V was early in his coaching career at Mizzou.
3-2. Called strike three on the inner half. Springs battles back and strikes out Chapman for the first K of his afternoon.
Well, Jeffrey Springs just taking ownership of the inside part of the plate here against Matt Chapman. Just a dotted up fastball, inner third. Chappie cannot pull the trigger. Don't know that he was terribly excited about the call.
I was wondering if you and Tony Vitello had ever crossed paths at the college level. That has been answered for me.
Take a look here, right off the knob of the bat. Yeah, Tony V's Mizzou Tigers. And my Red Raiders locked horns in Lubbock. Tony V, I think, from what I understood, was telling a story today when he was chit-chatting with the media this morning. I was talking to Frank Anderson, longtime teammate, father of longtime teammate of mine, Brett Anderson. But Frank, longtime pitching coach, Okie State. And Tony came over and told the story to Frank, and Frank just kind of looked at me like, it sounds about right. Par for the course. I was, you know, Chris, I hit for myself at Texas Tech. So on Friday night, I would DH for myself when I pitched, and then Saturday and Sunday, I would DH as well. And we were losing to Mizzou, and my coach, the great legendary Larry Hayes, says, "Hey, any way you can now, need you on base." And I responded by promptly striking out. And ball in the dirt, drop strike three. And I may or may not have taken some liberties in the base path and found myself a little further inside the line. May or may not have tried to get in the way of a throw.
Ground ball to third, could be two. Hernandez to second, on to first. A 5-6-3 double play converted well by the A's. Story time continues with no score in the bottom of the second.
Take a few steps to his right. A nice pass over to Hernandez to lead the shortstop, who does a great job of covering. And in today's day and age, get used to seeing the 5-6-3. How about Susac taking a page out of my book, as we were just telling the story about me trying to get in the way of a throw. Susac going into his slide with that left hand up, trying to maybe get in the way and distract the throw from Darryl Hernandez, to no avail.
Who would you say in the base paths was more graceful? You back then, or Susac just a moment ago?
Me.
Would Tony Vitello agree with that?
100%. He saw the Stallion let loose out there.
Oh, you're calling yourself the Stallion now. Wonderful. First pitch strike to McNeil, 0-1. 278, a home run, 14 RBIs. But for a player like you, when you hit in college, you could go with pitches. You were a contact-oriented guy. Players like that may be able to have more success in elements like this.
Well, if putting the ball in the air is a big part of your game on a day like today, that's why we were kind of highlighting the different approaches one might take.
Soft liner on a hop. Devers able to get there and takes it to the bag himself, one away. He's made a few nifty plays this series at first base.
Well, he did. He saved extra bases in a run last night with a great play towards the line. Here he's able to pick up the short hop off the bat of McNeil and wave Hauser off. I got it. I got it. you know, this is where when you're taking a look at the scouting report and the guy you're going to face on the mound this afternoon, you think about how he likes to attack, and Hauser with the sinker as a right-hander, you know that ball is going to be boring in on you, maybe in off the plate. You know he's got a curveball, a slider, a changeup that you got to contend with as well. And the idea is you want to see him up out over the heart of the plate. And if you're somebody who can put the ball in the air, and that's your approach, you think about really trying to concentrate on driving the ball the other way in the air. Because with the help you're going to get today towards right field, not only towards right field, but out of right field, it could be fruitful. But if you're somebody who likes to turn on the baseball, a lot of pull side fly balls, well, today's probably just not going to be your day.
2 balls and a strike to Geloff, who's batted .364 during the day. 2-1. Well struck to center. Bader going back. He's still going, and he will haul it in on the warning track in front of the wall.
And think about that, Chris. That ball's hit 105 miles an hour off the bat of Zach Geloff. But you're dealing with the wind, and you can see that ball get knocked down. Bader's still able to make a play on it. He'll take it. No doubt.
First pitch strike to Butler, 0-1. And in a game like this, it seems like even if some mistakes are made, you might get bailed out by a few more, which could extend your start longer. Just 22 pitches for Hauser with 2 outs in the second. Butler swings and drives it foul.
I mean, look at where Haas is playing. I mean, he's pretty much playing rover.
Oh-2 pitch up high.
I mean, it's ball's 105 miles an hour, a 22-degree launch angle off the bat of Zach Geloff. I mean, that's a homer.
Bit inside, 2-2.
Remember, anywhere from 19 to 29 degree, you're talking like ideal launch angle territory. You put the barrel on the ball, 98 mile an hour or harder off the bat, you feel pretty good about it. And that was stepped on by Zach Geloff and just out. I mean, Bader made a good play on it.
It's good to see Zach hitting the baseball for power again. A few home runs against St. Louis. 1 to left field, 1 to right center field. That would have been a home run to straightaway center, likely if the wind wasn't a factor. 2-2, called strike 3. Butler's going to challenge here. And the A's lose their first of 2 challenges as we go to the 3rd inning with no score.
Wire cam hanging tough today. Flight path slightly altered with the gusts 20 to 30 plus miles an hour this afternoon here at the ballpark. You know, it's nice, Chris, the city of trees. There's 0 pollen flying around right now.
Yeah, Eric Haas is up. 300 on the year, 7 games with the Giants. Playing left field today, first start in left field this year. 51 career appearances there, however. So not a novice out there, Dallas. On the ground to third, Geloff gloves it, slings to first and 1 away, and we'll hear a word from California Community College.
Get the money you need to reach your goals. At a California Community College, financial aid is available year-round to help you cover tuition, books, supplies, and other basic needs like food and sometimes even the rent. Get started today at icangotocollege.com.
Harrison Bader walked in the first inning, up again. First pitch swung back foul. Well, it may be pollen here, but when you were in Lubbock, I'm sure a lot of dust getting in your eyes during the windy games.
Yeah.
In West Texas.
A whole lot of everything flying around out there.
Oh, 2 high, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bader's 2 for 9 on the series. Has a homer and a run batted in. Has previously homered against Jeffrey Springs. That happened last year. He'll fly this one to right. Tough chance for Cortez, who breaks over, and he'll make the catch. Nothing is guaranteed out there today, Dallas.
Not at all, and Cortez does a nice job, and you can see him telling his teammate, yeah, you got to sell out and get to a spot, which he did. Of course, we've been talking about Texas Tech. I want to take a quick minute to shout out the Lady Raiders, Texas Tech softball team, mounted what is probably considered the greatest comeback in NCAA tournament history against Ole Miss. Just an unbelievable job by the ladies, down 8-0. I believe it's 7-0 actually, and came back with 1 out in the 7th, 8-0, and ended up winning the ball game in extras 10-9.
High fly ball to right. Cortez can't find it. It is gone. And Arise gets it up in the wind and hits it to the A's bullpen for the second time this series. The Giants lead 1-0.
And just an example of what it can mean if you get that ball in the air as a left-hander to the pull side this afternoon. Cortez couldn't find it. And it didn't matter because he ain't making a play in the bullpen. But as soon as that ball goes up in the air, I think a combination of not only the wind pushing it quickly and strongly, but there's just not much of a backdrop in terms of clouds to help with depth perception, which is even tougher on an afternoon like today.
Casey Schmidt, an opposite field home run last night. This one just kept carrying.
So Cortez has no idea where it's at and then realizes, oh, a little ways away from me.
Two-homer game for Schmidt in game 2 of the series. Hit one off of the right field foul pole with way less wind action last night.
Let's take you back to last night, because it was his second 2-homer game in his career. Jumped all over a slider that just stayed up, stayed middle, and then a cutter up and out over the plate. And he pounded off the right field foul pole.
Broken bat, ground ball to third. Gelov across his body, throws to first, and that'll retire the side. But Luis Arias hits his second home run of the season. The Giants lead 1-0. A's baseball is brought to you by Tri-Counties Bank, California's local bank. 1-0 Giants, bottom of the 3rd inning. Chris Carey, Dallas Braden, our producer Delaire Lewis. And our wonderful NBC Sports California crew. It is packed again today. Hats are on. comfortable day at the ballpark, very windy. And Luis Arraez got one up into the air and hit it to the right field bullpen for his second home run of the season, his second home run of the series. The Giants are ahead 1-0. And Jonah Heim is looking for his first hit with the A's this year as he takes low, 1 ball and 1 strike. How important is it to get that first run of the game in conditions like this?
Well, I think it goes without saying it's important to get on the board as early and as often as you possibly can. But you saw what Arraez was able to do. I mean, think about the ball that Zach Geloff hit, 105 miles an hour, 22-degree launch angle, just ideal homer metrics. The ball that Arraez hit, 95 miles an hour at a 42-degree launch angle, and that is the homer. So I think on a day like today, you could see offense generated in a multitude of ways, whether it's because of defensive miscues, because of the elements, being able to get a ball in the air like Arraez did.
Line drive into left center, a base hit. So there's Heim's first with the A's in 2026. He gets aboard to lead off the bottom of the third.
And Jonah looking for the baseball. And I'll take it. First one in the green and gold. But with the guy up at the plate today, Shea, he'll take it. Atta baby, let's go.
Here's Darrell, who's had a great homestand. He'll ground it to second. Arraez, quick turn to second. And Adames to first, and erases the runners. 4-6-3. It just happened so quickly.
Well, it's another great double play turn by the middle infield here for the Giants. Arraez doing a nice job of staying down on a tough hop here at him. Gobbles it up. And the effort from Adames to reach behind him to take the throw as he's coming across the bag. It's just a pretty good turn there by the middle infield.
Second time through now, Kurtz walked, and he will take high, 1 ball and no strikes. 40 straight games reaching safely for Kurtz. This is a guy that if he gets the ball up in the air with the type of power he possesses, can be a difficult out.
I tell you, he gets the ball up in the air, he might I mean, he might hit it off the bridge.
Called strike, 2-1.
I mean, this is where selfishly you wish you could have seen a round of BP from Kurtzy on an afternoon like today.
Would have been tough to backside the baseball today at BP.
Oh, I'm not asking for him to pound it out the other way. I'd like to see him get the head out and go poolside and just eviscerate baseballs.
On a 3-1 count, he'll be hunting for a strike here. He'll draw another walk. Pass the baton to Cortez. You told me when you were taking BP in Lubbock and the wind goes the other way from first base side to the third base side, you just backside balls routinely and feel like superhuman.
Well, you feel like the exact type of hitter that you're not. You know, you're hitting balls into the bullpen, you're hitting them off the wall.
On the ground to short, tricky hop for Adames. He'll trot to second. That'll retire the side. Giants lead 1-0 through 3.
Salutes our service members and their families. To help serve those who serve us, visit MLBtogether.com.
1-0 Giants. It's Rafael Devers up and taking low, 1 ball and no strikes.
I'm still thinking about the first pitch thrown out the other night by Mr. Frank Wright.
Chop to short. Another strange hop. Darrell handles it nicely.
100-year-old Marine veteran Frank Wright tossed the cane, put a little spit on it, and fired in a strike. Look at that smile. Oh, man. Nobody having more fun in the moment than Mr. Wright.
We will say it as many times as necessary for those tuning in, serving our country domestically and abroad. We thank you for your service, for allowing us the freedom to be able to do so and call these baseball games and take this in on a beautiful Sunday. Willie Adames flew out to center field, his only time up today. And that's going to go over the stadium foul. What would have probably been that 10 rows up. Nope, not today.
Go. I think our hey, how's that working out for you?
Ground ball to third. Geloff gathers, slings to first, and pushes Kurtz off the bag. Tried to apply a tag, but Adames is safe.
They'll keep it moving. Kurtz doing everything he can to try to hold the bag. Eventually had to disengage, tried to get the tag down. But Willie scooting down the line, already past Nick Kurtz.
Second error in as many games for Geloff at third base. Third error over the last 2 games. The A's were clean defensively in their win, but had quite a few errors in the St. Louis series, now 3 this series.
Well, and a team for the most part who has played outstanding defense to start the season. But I think you got to give Zach Geloff a little grace over there. I know he's performed very well defensively. And I think we've been spoiled because of his outstanding play. You almost forget that he's still learning the position at third base with some of the plays that we've seen him make. Look, you can, regardless of where you're used to playing, what your natural position might be at the amateur level, coming into the professional ranks, you start to find a different home. Then you move out into center field. You know, it's reminiscent of the growth that we saw from Tyler Soderstrom, going from behind the plate to first base to left field. And a lot of times you watch a guy adapt quickly to what's being asked of him. You almost forget that it's just not their natural position, and they are indeed learning the game at a different speed in a different spot.
Runner going. Springs had it read, but they're going to call a balk here. Springs is not happy about it.
Well, and I'm kind of wondering why. I think
and neither is the skipper.
He's talking about where he was stepping. He said, "You're going home." Scott Emerson wondering what the deal was. Take a look here. I think initially he may have thought it was, and you can hear the dugout starting to scream it. Now look at his front foot. Man. Well, Mark Kotsay letting Jashinsky know just how he feels about the call. You know, it's just such a fine line. You end up walking over there and having a little chit chat now, I think, just to kind of calm things down. Meeting on the mound brought to you by the injury attorneys of Ashton and Price. And there's no definitive line of demarcation. And that judgment call is going to vary each and every game because the umpire at first base is going to change each and every game. You know, and umpires will tell you there's no 45-degree lane, there's no 45-degree line that we're looking for. And I don't think he's saying that's a bullseye.
No, he is not. He was letting Jansen Visconti know how he feels. Change up away, 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Jeffrey Springs is very cool, calm, and collected. You know, he plays with a little bit of fire, but you never see him get animated like that.
Look, it's an important part of the game. I mean, you got a guy now going from first base with a double play in order to scoring position.
He'll strike out Susak for the second out.
And when you feel like you've now gone from getting an important out to moving a guy into scoring position, that's going to ratchet up the situation, ratchet up the leverage for the offense. Susak out front, not able to stay back, get to that changeup that, again, I said at the beginning of the broadcast, going to be a weapon.
Pokes the bat head out. It's toward left, but it will go into the seats.
Well, just saw Willie Adames flash that left hand pre-pitch. And we know that teams are doing this all across the league. And whether it's with intent, meaning, hey, I do have something here. I've got an idea based on setup that I can tell you what's coming, or it's just a deke play to try to get into the head.
That's lined into left center field, and that will drop down and go all the way to the wall. Adames flashed his hand again, and Chapman drives him home, trading places with the Giants shortstop. They have doubled their total and lead 2-0.
Well, it tells you just how well this ball was struck. That Chapman will line it up that left center alley. Lawrence Butler shaded over in that right center alley. Matt Chapman is a strong individual. And something you do have to remember as well is, I mean, look, that ball's 108 miles an hour off the bat of Matt Chapman. That was well struck. But what you saw Adames do also is just a habit for runners who are trying to feel the middle infield. You know, they're just kind of reminding themselves that they've got a defender over there.
Drew Gilbert making his first start in right field this year. He's played center and left. There's a strike, 2-1. This is a player that does have pull side pop. Doesn't go, and now Heim will use the other A's challenge.
Yeah, it looked like a good pitch to me. Jonah Heim felt as much. Yeah. 3-1 to 2-2.
Do you keep it away from Gilbert, or you work him inside?
Well, if he's going to beat me right now, I think it's going to have to happen the other way.
2-2. He does go slider low and away, and Gilbert able to foul it off.
this is where it's a situation. I'm going to force the hitter to do something that maybe he's not terribly comfortable doing, in an effort to do that and get him out of his comfort zone. I think I can still get my result.
Three balls and 2 strikes. Payoff pitch. Fly ball high in the air, right center, wind whipping it around. In comes Cortez, a basket catch, but a catch nonetheless. Giants score a run and lead 2-0. Around everywhere at the ballpark. Hats lost, umbrellas whipping all over the place. Even the cotton candy can't be controlled. And yeah, the defense has had to be on point today with the wind playing the way that it has in the 9-1-6.
Yeah, the wind has quite literally blown the lid off it here.
So it's Rooker on the first pitch, grounds it to Adames. He kicks it, throws to first, and Rooker's still out.
Well, Rooker, even with Adames having this ball crawl up the glove, still unable to get down the line in time, just by a half step.
Soderstrom takes strike 1. The Giants capitalized on a mistake last inning after an error from Geloff. Runner Adames was brought home from a Chapman double. He's had a chance to get aboard with a mistake, but just not speedy enough up the first base side. Line foul.
Well, pretty good recovery for Adames there, and I think, for Rooker, he hit a ball hard. I figure the defender's going to have plenty of time. You almost have to kick it back into gear going down the line.
Ground ball, diving attempt from Arise. He gets there, throws to first. He has been excellent over there at second base.
I mentioned coming into the series, Arise a +9 in terms of outs above average. Far and away the best defender for the Giants thus far. And the play here for Arise is all about taking a great first step, creating that angle. He's able to cut the ball off as it starts to work its way out to the cut of the grass.
McNeil grounded out to first after a nice play from Devers. It's a soft liner that short hopped the first baseman on the glove side. He's able to pick it and take it himself. 2-1. Three balls and a strike. Man waiting on deck. Geloff hit the ball 105 off the bat to center field. The 22-degree launch angle.
22 degrees.
Ended up being just a loud and long out. Spun back foul from McNeil. 3-2. McNeil, a 341 2-out hitter. 3-2. And it's going to be an ABS challenge here.
Wow. I mean, I'm not. Okay.
The call's confirmed. The pitch is a ball. San Francisco has one challenge remaining.
So now the Giants burn a challenge. And it's one challenge remaining for each team with Geloff coming up.
That wasn't even close.
No. I didn't see him really tap the helmet, did you?
Yeah, oh yeah.
First pitch on the ground to Chapman. They'll throw to first. Now to retire the side. 2-0 Giants through 4. Are on sale. Don't miss out on top-tier matchups, unique giveaways, and our incredible post-game fireworks displays. Visit athletics.com/SGT to find your spot in the stands. Giants leading 2-0. Eric Haas fouls away the first pitch. 0-1. He grounded out to third quickly to start off that third inning. Ball and a strike. A quieter day offensively for both teams. Giants have 2 runs off of 4 hits. The A's no runs off of 1 hit. Swing and a miss. Good changeup, 1-2. Giants had 10 hits in the first game, 14 hits in the second game, and now 4 here in the third. So 28 hits by my count against the A's through about 2.5 games.
And as we mentioned, in the ballgame, Willy Adames had last night, swung the bat very well. Matt Chapman slowly, but I think starting to see the baseball a little better. As Haas down on strikes, good fastball from Jeffrey Springs. Just ties up the right-hander. You see where Heim is set up, tucked neatly in the back pocket there of Haas.
There's a strike, 0-1. Well, last inning, with 1 out, Adames reached on an error by Geloff. Then Susac struck out swinging. There was a balk call somewhere in there that frustrated Springs. Advancing Adames to second base in scoring position, then Chapman is able to smash a double to left center field against the wind, and it managed to go all the way to the wall to score Adames from second. You wonder if Adames would have scored from first or if there would have been a play, but it was an unearned run for Springs.
Yeah, I don't know that Adames would have scored from first. Hard hit ball. They got to it quickly.
One and two, line drive to left. Soderstrom right there. Good positioning.
And I mean, that's where the frustration for Jeffrey Springs comes into play. You know, I mentioned taking the double play out of order.
Rise has 10 hits on this road trip. It's a 3-leg road trip for San Francisco. After the conclusion of this game, they will fly south to Arizona to face the Diamondbacks at Chase Field. Driven to right, but that will hook foul.
And Rise, as I mentioned, a guy who can shoot the ball all over the ballpark. You're not necessarily asking him to beat you the other way, something he has no problem doing, hitting the ball to left field. But should he decide to try to get up on the plate and cheat in on an afternoon like today, you can get that ball up in the air, let Mother Nature do the work. what is typically just a lazy fly ball out ends up putting the Giants on the board.
Springs has him at 1-2. But Arise has another hit.
Well, according to StatCast, if we're not playing this game in a wind tunnel, this is where the ball would have ended up. It tells you all you need to know. Obviously, that blue line, that's an out.
Casey Schmidt has singled and grounded out. He'll take low, 1 ball and no strikes. A's to come up at the bottom of the 5th. Butler, Heim, Hernandez. Fly ball hit to left center. Butler moves over and makes the catch. Giants lead 2-0. It's Lawrence Butler to lead off the bottom of the 5th. A's games in Sacramento and the Bay Area home television territory with no blackouts on athletics.tv. Take advantage of the May price drop, now just $89.99. Buy now at athletics.tv and watch your A's all season long. 2-0 Giants, bottom of the 5th inning. It's 7, 8, and 9 coming up for a second time against Hauser, who's just at 52 pitches. Pitch away, 1 ball and 1 strike. Two and 1. I know we gave the flowers to Trevor McDonald after a sensational start last night on Sacramento Saturday. 6 2/3, a winning effort, his 2nd win of the year. 2 and 1, handcuffed. Butler fouled it back. Hauser economical today, using the wind to his advantage, but really the A's haven't hit the ball very hard, except for Heim's line drive single 2 innings ago. That's their lone hit.
Yeah, the hardest hit ball this afternoon for the A's was an out off the bat of Zach Geloff.
Three-two pitch fouled away. Flied foul. Wonder how much of this with the wind factor for hitters. Can your approach, I know you try to change your approach at times, but can you sometimes overthink it where you're trying to place the ball with what you know the wind is doing to the baseball?
Well look, I mean, there's not a ton of guys who are up there.
Called strike 3. Butler takes looking, 1 out.
Trying to place the baseball. I mean, you have an approach, and ultimately, if you're just going to kind of boil it down and make it simple, you hit it where it's pitched, a ball away from you. You try to drive the other way, ball closer to the body. You understand you got to try to get to the ball inside. I mean, for the most part, hitters are trying to stay inside the baseball, and I think the evolution of the art at the plate has changed drastically. That goes without saying, and guys making a very conscious effort to try to get under the ball, try to lift the ball, because that's where damage is done, right? You hear me jokingly say all the time, tough to hit a homer on the ground.
Might be only one player in the game that could hit a homer on the ground. That'll be Chandler Simpson and the Red Hot Rays. Two and 2. There is a plastic bag on the field. Make sure you recycle. Save the turtles. 2-2 pitch. Fouled away. Nice catch.
And a babe.
He's got the A's basketball jersey on, but the Giants cap.
I mean, a little confused, but that's okay. I'm sure he'll learn. He'll straighten some things out.
3 balls and 2 strikes to Heim. Back up the middle, diving play by Adames. Robbing Heim of a hit.
Tell you, this Giants team, and specifically this middle infield, flashing a bit of the leather. You know, I've applauded the work of these two this series. And Arias, their best defender, and Adames, statistically speaking, in terms of outs above average, on the opposite end of that. Adames -6 outs above average compared to the +9 of Arias coming into the game, coming into this series, excuse me. But both guys we have seen make great plays.
Ground ball, diving attempt this time. Arias can't get it. Base hit for Hernandez, his 8th of the homestand, his 4th of the series, and he sets up Kurtz with 2 away.
Well, not quite able to get to that one. Ball hit hard enough off the bat of Darryl. A squeak by. He stretched out Arias. Now here with 2 outs, lineup turns over. You got to deal with Nicky Nukes.
Up and in. Over to first, back in safely, Hernandez. Darryl has some speed.
Get back.
He was back with plenty of time. 2-0. Kurtz now can find a pitch to crush. He has 2 walks today. Called strike, 2-1. Outside, 3 balls and a strike.
It's almost like Hauser has said, if you're going to beat me today, you're going to have to beat me through the wind. I know you've got power that way, and that's fine, but if it's going to be me versus you, I'm tapping in Mother Nature, and you're going to have to hit it into the face of that wind.
Kurtz will call time at 3-1.
But his first 2 at-bats have resulted in walks. And sitting here with count leverage at 3-1.
3-1 pitch. He will walk for a 3rd time today. Bench your mobile provider for better coverage and bigger savings with Xfinity Mobile, and get Wi-Fi plus 5G that won't strike out. Xfinity. Imagine that. Well, Hauser has walked 4 in his start, but no damage against him yet. Cortez is up. First pitch takes on the inside corner.
Well, Cortez not happy about it. And I think Cortez thought long and hard, about as quickly as you can, frankly, about challenging that. That ball well in off the plate, it looked like.
That's off the plate. Probably should be 2 balls and no strikes. Instead, it's 1-1. Renee's at second, Kurtz at first. Hauser to the plate. 2-1. Breaking ball, lifted in the air. Shallow left center, no one can find it, and it drops down. Hernandez scores, Cortez takes second base. The A's are on the board, and that's what this win can do. The A's open up their scoring with a mistake.
A double off the bat of Cortez that never left the infield. Ball up in the air, and it was trouble from the get-go. Adama shading his eyes, Chapman trying to chase it down. And with 2 outs and the runners on the move, Willie's going, I got nothing. And Matt Chapman trying to bail his shortstop out. And that right there is exactly what we expected this afternoon. You can see Willie just kind of have to shade his eyes and hope for the best. This meeting on the mound brought to you by the injury attorneys of Ashton and Price.
And you're absolutely right. I mean, crazy things can happen, but that double really, literally never left the infield.
No,
it stayed on the dirt. You see something new every day. I did not expect that. Of all of the possibilities, thought maybe a bloop in the outfield could end up being a double or a triple, not on the infield. But that's what happens.
Yeah, fly ball to short.
Now Rooker to center field. Bader is there to make the catch, and that'll retire the side, but the A's do score thanks to an infield double from Cortez. It's 2-1.
Fans, don't miss your chance to grab some of the best giveaways of the season. We got Shea Langelier's bobbleheads, Marvel Night, post-game fireworks shows, and one-of-a-kind wearables. We got something for everybody. 2026 is filled with can't-miss items. You can secure yours right now at athletics.com/promotions.
2-1 the score. You can hear Ballpark Kids, Barry Zito's hit song in the background. I wonder if he's watching the game here between his two former clubs.
Z living it up in Nashville.
2-1 the score after very unorthodox bottom of the 5th. 2-out hit from Carlos Cortez. It was an infield
double
to shortstop.
That's it. Look, I think
ground ball to third. Geloff moves to his right, backhands, throws to first. Perfect throw, one away.
On a day like today, even more of an emphasis on just trying to put the ball in play. You hear me say it every game, put the ball in play, good things can happen. Put pressure on the defense, force them to play the game, force them to play catch. And you never know. I mean, even big leaguers make mistakes. But on a day where the elements are out of your control, you can see what can happen as you start to work later in the game. Start to put base runners on, it becomes very important.
Well, if Adames didn't reach on that error 2 innings ago by Geloff, we might have a 1-1 score right now.
Sure.
He scored the second run back in the 4th inning. He will lift this in the air, high in the sky, now curling back. Butler having trouble with it, and he finds it. Good play by Lawrence.
Wow.
That is a very tough play, and Lawrence made it look a lot easier than it was.
Well, number one, you're dealing with the sun. You can see Law throw the glove up. And not only are you now contending with the sun, but you've got that ball moving all over the place. That's why I said if you're going to earn your money today on defense, it's going to be because of what you've had to deal with, not only from a Sun perspective, but the wind. The wind is going to make really, really good defenders at times look amateur. Justin Sterner starting to play catch now in the A's bullpen. But at times when that sun is bright and you don't have a backdrop to use for depth perception, you try to create angles with your body to get the sun out of the way, something that you just can't do here with the ball moving the way it is.
Well, the Solon Club just got a souvenir. 90 pitches now for Jeffrey Springs, a 1-2 count for Susak. Here's the 1-2 windup and pitch. High. A's to come up, bottom of the 6th inning. Soderstrom, McNeil, and Geloff, 2 lefties and a righty. Will be their 3rd time against Hauser. Grounded up the first base side, race to the bag. Springs is there, and a 3-1 putout. Jeffrey Springs, 6 innings, 2 runs, 1 of them earned. Giants lead 2-1. A's Baseball is brought to you by the injury attorneys at Ashton & Price, Northern California's injury law firm. There's the Tower Bridge. There's Tyler Soderstrom, a 2-1 game. He's hoping to grab hold of the momentum that they took back in their favor after a bloop infield double from Cortez scored their first run of the game to make it 2-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Hauser at 81 pitches. No activity in the Giants bullpen. Looks like Sterner will continue to warm in the A's bullpen. Inside, 2 balls and a strike.
Yeah, I think Sterner will have the 7th inning. Love to see the A's put a couple on the board here.
Breaking ball called strike 2. Three balls and 2 strikes. You know, if base runner wouldn't be half bad. 3-2, and that's exactly what will happen. Soderstrom gets aboard, heads to first, reaches base for the first time today. Here comes Jeff McNeil. Well, we knew we were going to be treated to some great crowds this series. And this one has been the biggest one of the series. 12,541. The 9th sellout. Sellouts 7, 8, and 9 have all come here against the Giants. And now McNeil, a line drive that's off of Devers' glove, and they'll run down Soderstrom. Just a very tough break.
About as unfortunate as it gets for the Athletics there. Soderstrom off the bag. Low liner that Devers got a glove on, trying to get back and maybe avoid the double up. It was going to be a double play if Devers caught it, and even though he did not, they still get their 2 outs on 1 pitch. I mean, all Devers was going to have to do was just go over and step on the bag with Soderstrom where he was at.
Zach Geloff 0 for 2. Deep fly out and a ground out. One ball and 1 strike. Well, this has happened a couple of times now. Leadoff runner gets aboard, then a double play ball. Takes the wind out of the sails a bit. Geloff will drop it into left center. He has a base hit and sets up Butler.
The Giants start to get a little movement down there in that bullpen after the Soderstrom walk. Sam Hinch's playing a little catch.
Two strikeouts looking for Butler. He'll swing and line it foul. Lawrence has played a good defensive center field today, a few tricky plays. Well, let's see if he can do it with the bat. Geloff breaks to second. Throw down to second from Susac is late and into center field. So Geloff swipes second base, gets a stolen base, and now the A's have a runner in scoring position for Butler.
And a great jump by Zach Geloff. And I tell you, Chris, Ryan Christensen, first base coach, works as hard as anybody when it comes to putting guys in the best possible position to go ahead and grab an extra 90 feet. Now his third stolen base on the season.
1-2 to Butler, however. One-two pitch. Fly ball towards left, curling back, and Chapman makes the catch. Nice play by the third baseman. Giants catch a break as the wind pushes it back toward the field of play. 2-1 San Francisco. All-Star Teacher Award is presented by Provident Credit Union. Go to NBCSportsCalifornia.com/AST to check out Deanna Slayton of Bancroft Middle School in San Leandro, as well as the other finalists, and vote for your All-Star Teacher. The grand prize-winning teacher's school will receive $30,000. So please vote now.
Man, what? Let's say you're a middle school teacher, Chris.
Okay.
You get 30 racks. What are you putting in the classroom? Infrared sauna
for middle for middle schoolers.
Yeah,
I think that's probably the worst focus level, attention level, because you know they're starting to get more.
Buddy, you ever step foot into a kindergarten class?
Popped up toward us. I'm going to reach for it. No chance. Justin Sterner is in the game. I'm going to turn it back on you first. What would you get for your middle school classroom? I'm assuming you're teaching history.
I don't know, I think like a giant slip and slide, like a super slip and slide.
Okay.
I think that'd be fun.
Is that promoting learning, though?
Sure. Geometry, angles.
So you're going to be an all-encompassing type of teacher.
Physics.
Okay.
Right? Terminal velocity. Top of the slide to the bottom of the slide. How quickly can we reach terminal velocity?
3-2 pitch popped in the air. The wind's going to take that and push it foul. I think what I would do is use 33% of it on a big classroom activity somewhere else, maybe like a baseball game, maybe, you know, depending on what subject, just to allow the kids to bond together. And the other $20,000, well, I'd help you with your slip and slide. Ground ball to short, hustling up the line. Chapman, strong throw by Hernandez, one away.
Great play by Darryl. Great play. Ball not hit hard at all. Matt Chapman, exceptional foot speed, busting it down the line. Darryl's going to have to charge this ball as he does, and you can see him set up and get his feet in a position to fire a strike over there to first base. Exceptional effort there by Hernandez.
Drew Gilbert now up. Fouled away.
I mean, could you imagine walking into your middle school class one day and there's just a massive super slip and slide?
I feel like that would be a lot to try and maintain because it would just be water everywhere in the class. Would your class be more like a gymnasium or like a...
Might have to take it outside.
Yep.
Think about the reptile collection. You know, some classes have a class pet, you know, like a lizard or a turtle.
See, I can get on board with that. What would your class pet be?
Maybe a Tegu monitor.
Okay.
Very entertaining feeding time. Probably have to send a permission slip home.
Two balls and one strike. You know what I think I would do? I would call Ozzie Albies and say, hey, I need your fish tank plug. And I'm going to spend $30,000 on a very nice fish tank. All different types of aquatic creatures.
You go in saltwater, freshwater? Because Ozzie, freshwater guy.
I think more saltwater. 2-2. Fouled away.
I had a large moray eel.
I think you told me about this.
Yeah, they're fun. Left-hander Suarez starting to play a little catch now in the A's bullpen.
Grounded foul. Nice approach by Gilbert with the way the defense was playing him.
Well, and to the point, we talk about hitting the ball where it's pitched on a day like today. And you can see where Zach Geloff, third baseman, is positioned, essentially at the shortstop spot. Left side of the infield wide open.
Ground ball, this time fair the other way. Kurtz will take it himself. 2 down. My fish tank couldn't feature any pelagic fish. I learned that word last year from you.
Yeah, it's a small confined space, not roaming freely in open water.
Here is it, the son of the wind.
The grandson of the wind.
The grandson of the wind.
That's right.
Shortchanged him. Sorry, Jung-Hoo Lee. He will pinch hit for Haas here to a nice ovation.
I mean, it felt like a no-brainer to start Jung-Hoo Lee on a day like today. If anyone was going to have the backing of the wind, be the grandson of the wind.
Yep. Swing and a miss. Generated some more wind with that swing. A's to come up, bottom 7. Heim, Hernandez, and Kurtz, barring any changes from Arcatse, should the lefty Henches come out of the bullpen. 1-2. One-two pitch. Foul back. We saw this last series, Dallas. Not as egregious, but still.
Well, you see where he's at. And yeah, I'm not as bothered by it with the right-hander Bader up, but left-handed hitter J.J. Weatherholt was, I mean, he was closer to the dirt than he was the on-deck circle.
You're usually on the side of anything and all things lefty.
Yeah, just
not this time.
The fact that he was, as I mentioned, just basically getting a free at bat.
And now that I think about it, you were a little bit aware of when Volpe and Correa did it, but they're both righties.
Well, and I think they both were a little closer than even Harrison Bader.
Two and two.
You know, the Texas Tech hecklers, world-renowned hecklers, they would have this bit that they would do, and they would yell at the hitter on deck for not standing in the on-deck circle. Where do you think all of our alumni money goes to? We paid to have this circle painted. Stand in the circle. Get in the circle. Just a great bit.
Cue shot back to Sterner. Gets rid of it. High throw, but Kurt's able to get back down. 1-2-3 inning for Sterner in relief. We'll go to the 7th inning stretch with San Francisco up by 1. Baseball is brought to you by Roaring Camp Railroads. There's magic in the Redwoods. Travel over trestles through towering redwood groves to the summit of Bear Mountain.
Well, the California State Railroad Museum, if you have not been, I strongly encourage you to check it out, especially if you've got little ones in tow. It is a great day spent at the museum. Maybe jump on the train, hit Roaring Camp up in the Santa Cruz Mountains. Santa Cruz, Chris, a place that you need to go check out.
Yeah, I know. I like trains.
You a engine guy? You a caboose guy?
I like the caboose. I like the way it's pronounced. I think it's a funny word.
You like the way it brings up the rear?
Yep. All the way to the backstop, 2-1. I was always interested in Thomas the Tank Engine. My brother told me, no, it's kind of funny. You've got Henry and Henry Bolte, as Sam Henches is in the game. Thomas in Colby Thomas. All you're missing is Scar Louis. If you remember Thomas the Tank Engine, there's a few of those characters. 2-2.
Saw Henches on Friday, scoreless inning in relief. We've got some changes. Gilbert to left. Ran some of the wind in the ballgame now on right. There's a great children's show, Shining Time Station. Chris, that's where Thomas the Tank lived.
2-2, a wave and a miss. Heim is down on strikes, and here comes Darrell.
One of the all-time comedians, George Carlin, was the conductor. Inches steamrolling over Heim here. A slider that just kind of backed up a bit, but still proved difficult for Heim to get to.
First pitch to Hernandez in the air to center field. Coming into a slide is Bader. He makes the catch. Nice play.
Well, it has not been easy by any means today on defense for both sides. You've seen Loris Butler make some good plays out there. Good job by Bader here to close the gap quickly.
Flicked back foul, 0-1 to Kurtz, who has walked 3 times. He has 4 career 3-walk games now, after Hauser couldn't do anything but issue free passes to Kurtz. 1 ball and 1 strike now. Well, the A's looking for a series victory. They're down a run. Did lose the series against St. Louis in heartbreaking fashion. And it comes down to yet another close one here late in game 3. Kurtz is called out on strikes, and he will not challenge. 1-2-3 7th in relief for Hentges. After the game today, the A's will head down south for 4 in Anaheim, then 3 in San Diego. What a nice trip that will be. Then back at home against the Seattle Mariners with an off day on the 28th. Then the New York Yankees come to town.
Well, it'll be Luis Medina on the mound now for the Athletics, doing a little housekeeping. It's like we're going to have some mound maintenance. And Chris, on a day like today, with the wind as prevalent as it has been, playing surface will dry out and dry out quickly. And you can see how that clay can essentially just start to turn to powder to an extent.
They got water bottles that they're putting down there.
And the difference is, with that powder, you can start to just kind of slip and slide, and you can't really do what Medina's doing right now, which is dig in. And what that means is you don't have the traction, not only with your drive leg, but then when it comes to planting and landing, you might not be able to stick into the ground like you'd like to. Understanding you want to be able to have a firm front side, a firm front post to throw against with your lower half. Medina gives the thumbs up, says we're good to go, let's roll. Luis Medina, we mentioned it the other night with Medina in the ball game, just how well he has thrown the baseball and the fact that he has pitched himself into leverage scenarios, much like this one here, looking to keep the ball game right where it's at. He's trailing by 1 here, down to their last 6 outs. Just trying to keep the Giants off the board. You know, and I think what I notice about Luis Medina is there's just a much better intent behind his work. I think there's a little better rhythm. And we understand that pitching being the art of disrupting timing of the hitter at home plate, but you also need to have a little rhythm to what you're doing out there. And I think Medina has started to really find that and settle in.
1-2 slider check. No, he didn't. Well, Medina has been consistent, and his stuff has been lethal. Begs the question with the A's kind of having a very fluid 2-2 ground ball. Might have been a broken bat. Geloff will spin, throw to first, and it's away from Kurtz. Tried to cut it off, and Bader reaches.
Well, this powerful performance is brought to you by Xfinity. Luis Arias has been a thorn in the side of the Athletics this entire series. 7 for 11, a couple long balls for the contact hitter. 4 runs. And he has just been a nuisance at the plate.
To just finish that point on Medina, the way he has pitched, he's starting to earn more and more opportunity in late leverage. Could we possibly see him in a closing situation soon?
Well, I think what we have seen all season will probably remain so, and that's based on the matchups, based on the workload, who's rested, who's worked recently. That 9th inning is going to come down to the best option at the time. And I think it goes without saying, we've watched those opportunities go to the likes of Jack Perkins. We've seen Joel Kuhnel in spots like that. We know that Leiter's got a save under his belt. And with the way that Medina has continued to throw the baseball, there's no reason to believe that he hasn't pitched himself into consideration for those chances. And Chris, we're in the business of finding silver linings as well. As we show you the NL hits leaders list, Arraez is behind Otto Lopez, who's been raking.
Otto Lopez has hit the baseball well. Liam Hicks has hit the baseball well for Miami. They have been frisky and fun in the National League East. 3-1, a walk. First and second, nobody out, and here comes Schmidt.
And that'll bring out Scott Emerson. This meeting on the mound brought to you by the injury attorneys of Ashton and Price. Scott Emerson, I think, understanding what you don't want to have happen here for Medina is the traffic on the base path start to impact his willingness to get back into the strike zone here. You got a guy in Casey Schmidt who swung the bat well, a couple homers yesterday. But the last thing you want to do is let the Giants tack on any sort of insurance here offensively.
Too far inside, 1 ball and no strikes. The A's crew coming up at the bottom of the 8th. Cortez, Rooker, and Soderstrom. Heart of the A's order. Down at this point, 1 run. 2-0.
This is where you want to see Medina trust that stuff. It's a good sinker, 96, 98 plus. Inner third, let it work.
Ground ball to third, foul.
Just like that.
Drive to right, a base hit. Runner stopped to third. And now the Giants have him loaded with nobody out.
No doubt about it, bit of a spot here for the Athletics. Schmidt does a nice job of cutting this sinker in half. It's elevated, top of the zone. And Chris, you've asked about guys having an approach where they're trying to place the baseball. I think in that instance there, Casey Schmidt understanding how important it is to be able to move these guys along on the base path instead of trying to get big and hit a homer. Just put a good swing on a pitch up in the strike zone, and now the Giants cooking with gas. Bases loaded, nobody out.
Schmidt is 6 for 10 this series and did not start in game 1. First pitch to Devers is a strike. Rafael Devers 0 for 3 with a flyout and 2 groundouts. Infield playing in. Jose Suarez starting to warm up again in the bullpen. Line drive to center. That's going to score at least 1. Bobbled by Butler. It's going to score 2. Defensive issues continue. Base hit, RBI for Devers. And then the error in center field scored the second run. Now 4-1, San Francisco.
Endeavors, much like Casey Schmidt, just a nice easy swing on a pitch up in the zone. And Butler charging, just unable to make a clean exchange. That allowed the base runner to come home and score. Giants starting to open things up here in the 8th. Still nobody out with 2 on.
There's no other way around it. Just not been a clean defensive homestand.
It has not. And I think the Athletics have paid the price.
Now, with the way the wind is playing and a 3-run lead, the Giants have quite the cushion. The best part of the A's order coming up.
Well, this is where, from a pitcher perspective, if you're the Giants, you feel pretty good about just challenging an offense on the outside part of the plate or inside part of the plate, depending on right or left at the dish. But either way,
Ground ball through for a hit. Runner stopped at third, and Soderstrom kicks it now. But Schmidt will stay put. It's 3 straight singles off of Medina. And here comes the former A's draft pick, Susac.
well, 3 straight singles, 5 straight base runners to open up the 8th inning here. Looks like Mark Kotze has made his decision. He's going to the bullpen. It'll be Suarez on to face Daniel Susac when we return. 4-1 Giants here in the 8th. Bases loaded, nobody out. By Toyota, class-leading MPG and more hybrid models than any other brand. Toyota, let's go places.
Well, the situation is not pretty. 4-1, the Giants lead. They've tacked on 2 more runs to their cause here in the 8th inning. Now Jose Suarez in the game. Medina failed to record an out, and the lefty will be tasked with trying to get 3 outs before another run comes in to score.
Well, and he's got his work cut out for him. Unfortunately for Medina, couldn't quite find that rhythm that I think we've seen here as of late from the right-hander. Turning things over to the southpaw, Suarez. Bases loaded, nobody out. Daniel Susac singled back in the 2nd inning, his first at bat of the ball game.
Suarez did appear in game 1. Had a fairly straight 93-mile-per-hour fastball that hitters, especially right-handed hitters, weren't timing up well.
We'll see if he decides to continue to challenge these hitters with that fastball. A couple of changeups to start the at-bat here. Trying to use the aggressive nature of Susac in a spot like this against him. Head quickly 0-2. That's where it pays to have Gold Glover Jonah Heim behind the plate here, trying to stretch the strike zone. You can bounce a couple.
Regardless of the outcome today, the A's will still be in sole possession of first place, at least until play begins or ends tomorrow. The A's would be at 500 for the first time in a while with a loss today. Pitch outside, 1-2.
Well, A's haven't done themselves many favors here on this homestand. You've gotten some help from some outside sources, not in the division, taking care of business against some division foes. Good job by Heim.
Ground ball to second. McNeil bobbles it. He's got one play to first. They are kicking the ball all over the place this inning. And they had a play at the plate. They could have possibly turned a double play. They only end up with one, and the Giants score their 5th run of the game.
Well, and it's a double play opportunity that keeps the Giants off the board, and instead it's just one out, and the Giants able to tack another run worth of insurance on. Marcotte opting to give Matt Chapman the free pass in an effort to load him up once again. You got to force at any base. You got your left on left matchup. Gilbert coming into the ball game, Chris, 0 for 15 with 5 punch outs against left-handers, 0 for 3 this afternoon.
Infield remains in. A's down 4. Three errors this game by the A's defense. Swing and a miss. Gelof committed 2 at third base. That started off the 3-run 8th after Bader reached. Things have spiraled since then. There's a strikeout. Good job by Suarez to get the second out of the inning.
Well, just a half-hearted swing there from Gilbert. And the thing, it looked like Gilbert said, I got nothing. I didn't have him. I got nothing. Maybe just letting Jung-Hoo Lee know, hey, you're on your own here. I can't help you much.
There's a strike. 0-1. Ground ball up the middle, long way to go, McNeil, and it's underneath his glove. A run scores. Tough play. 6-1.
Well, McNeil had to range to his right to get to this baseball. You can see his starting position. This ball pops up over the front of the mound. McNeil trying to go to the backhand, may have had an opportunity to shovel it over to second base. That would have been close. It would have been close at first with the speedy Lee booking it down the line as well. That'll go base hit for those scoring at home.
So now 6-1. Game ended 6-4 last night. A's did score 3 runs in the bottom of the 8th, but it was too little too late.
Well, they're quickly running out of time. Down to their last 6 outs are the Athletics, and they've got a sizable gap to close here.
Four runs have come in to score for the Giants this inning. A's have not had a lead since the 9th inning of Game 1. High drive to left, but it'll hook foul. Fly ball lifted to deep right. Cortez isn't going to get there, and it is gone. A grand slam for Bader. And he is pumped up, rounding the bases. That might be the exclamation mark in what has been a disastrous 8th inning. 8 runs in the 8th. Just not great at all.
Well, this Giant offense came into the series struggling to score runs, last in baseball with 3.35 runs per game. And they throw up an 8 spot here in the 8th.
Now Rise gets it in the air to right. It will drop down. And it continues. This was a Giants team that went 5-1 against the A's last year, swept the A's at home in San Francisco in 3 games, then took 2 of 3 against the Athletics here at the ballpark in West Sacramento, and it looks like the Giants will be able to have that same success here in the 9-1-6 this year with a 10-1 lead. A's have 6 outs to try and score 9 runs, or else they will have lost both of their series at home before heading on to the road to face a divisional opponent in the Anaheim Angels.
I think it's one thing to look at the Cardinals and see that they were starting to put things together, playing a decent brand of baseball as they came into town. You'd hate to think that you would be the spark plug for the Giants in a team trying to find a little consistency. Giants coming off a series they split against the Dodgers. Now here in a strong position to take 2 out of 3. Heim caught the brunt of this one. Right off the right shoulder.
To center field. Butler's there. The inning started at 2-1. Now it's 10-1. The Giants lead, 10 runs off of 11 hits. The A's a run, 4 hits. The ball's been all over the carpet, 3 errors. Adrian Hauser, a quality start. Jeffrey Springs, a quality start as well. There is a positive to draw from this, as well as Kurtz walking 3 times. Arise 3 for 4, but an 8-run top of the 8th inning makes it very difficult for these A's to come back, try and take this series.
Yeah, there's a 9-run gap standing between the Athletics and a tie ball game. And Chris, I think it's just a example of what happens when you can't convert outs. You can't turn balls in play into outs. You simply can't afford to give.
The batter is challenging strike ball.
So we're going to have an ABS challenge. Like a decent pitch.
The call's confirmed. The pitch is a strike. The Athletics are out of challenges.
Cortez had an infield double, if you can believe it. That point made it a 2-1 game. Grounded foul. For those scoring at home, that inning for Medina, 5 of those runs, only 2 of them were earned, and for Suarez, the 3 runs, all of them were earned. But for the team, of the 8 runs, 2 of them earned. He didn't go. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, either way you look at it, the Giants earned them by putting the ball in play. And as I mentioned, on an afternoon like this, put the ball in play, force the team to play catch. And unfortunately, it was the Athletics who just had a bit of a tough time doing so.
Giants seeking their 20th win of the season. They would improve to 20-27. The A's would fall to 500 at 23-23. Now Cortez will drop it into left, a base hit. He has a 2-hit game. So he continues right where he left off. And Rooker is up.
Ball up, just slapped the other way by Cortez.
Ooh, look out. Well, at this point, all you can ask for is for the ABs to remain professional, to stay competitive, especially with a game tomorrow in Anaheim against the Angels, a division opponent. 4 games there against a team who, kind of like the Giants, have had their own struggles. Giants have, won't say gotten right, but have looked good in this series. There's no other way around it.
Well, from an offensive perspective, I highlighted the struggle that they've had to put runs on the board consistently, and they've been able to do that this series.
Considering the scoreline, if it stays this way going into the 9th, with a 4-game series starting tomorrow in Anaheim, not any breaks for a while until I believe 2 Thursdays from now. As you see Perkins warm up, so it might answer my question. Could you see a position guy come in?
Well, I think if you're able to put a couple on the board here this inning, that would all but kill that notion. As Brent Rooker sat down on strikes. Well, look, I know that's a decision that is not made lightly by any manager, because it is the ultimate concession of the ball game. But when you think about preserving arms in the bullpen, especially during a stretch where you're not going to have an off day for a hot minute.
To your point, we have not seen Jack Perkins since Game 3 against St. Louis. Soderstrom gets it in the air to left. Gilbert on the move, and a diving catch. What a play by Gilbert, who started the game in right field, moved over to left field, didn't miss a beat, 2 down.
Well, Gilbert taking away a potential double there from Soderstrom. Sody's got a couple doubles this series down that left field line. And the wind, I think, hung this one up just enough that Gilbert's able to get underneath it. Make a great play laying out to secure the second out of this inning.
Welcome to the green and gold, Alika Williams. Williams acquired from Pittsburgh yesterday in exchange for a right-handed pitcher in the minor leagues for the A's, Kyle Robinson. And Williams hit .317 with a pair of homers and 18 RBIs in 34 games with AAA Indianapolis. Now finds himself at the big league level in a 10-1 game in favor of the Giants. Fly ball right center. That's curling away from Bader, but he will make the catch. And that will retire the side. 10-1 the score. Let's go to the ninth.
Is presented by authority of the Athletics and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Athletics.
Last season on the 4th of July against these Giants, Denzel Clark hit the longest recorded home run going back to 2015 by either the Athletics or Giants in the rivalry at 471 feet off of Mason Black. It beat the Giants long by 17 feet. The Giants lead again, 10-1 the score, and our question was answered, Dallas. It is Carlos Cortez, the position player, pitching here in the ninth.
And watching some of the warm-ups, I don't know that Cortez is necessarily interested in just easing it over there. And he makes me look like a liar. So he was slaying it in the warm-ups.
That was a slider, 70 miles an hour.
That is not a slider.
Registering as a slider. There's 77, revving it up a little bit.
Quick worker.
I was wondering if Cortez had, just for fun, brought it around the hybrid two-handed glove. Maybe he could switch sides, generate soft contact. Heim throws to first, 2-3 on the putout. So first career appearance as a pitcher for Cortez. Hernandez will bump over to second base. Alika Williams now at shortstop. Strike one, 78 there. On a hop, Williams gathers, throws to first, 2 away. Let's add Colby Thomas is in right field for Cortez, who is pitching.
Cortez looking to close out the top of the 9th inning. Was a closer in high school. Well, Figueroa now. You know, that's something that I've always wondered about in a situation like this with a position player on the mound for the Athletics. Seeing a team on the winning side of this coin also opting to maybe save an arm and going with a position player. I think the last time we saw that was maybe Yadier Molina a while ago.
And the Giants don't have an off day tomorrow. They played tomorrow against the Diamondbacks at Chase Field. Cortez walks Susac.
May have been Kike with the Dodgers.
Fly ball to right. Colby Thomas breaking back. He won't get there. It's off the base of the wall. Chapman, an opposite field double. The ball just keeps carrying to right.
Well, that's 3 doubles now this series for Matt Chapman. Second double of the ball game. And remember, down by 8, you can deploy a position player. Got to be up by 10. So the Giants looking to tack on another one and send out a utility man.
0-2. Popped into shallow center. Alika Williams has a beat on, makes the catch. Scoreless 9th for Carlos Cortez. One more chance for the A's when we come back.
By your California Ford dealers, and unfortunately the story this afternoon centers around plays that just, well, they were not made. Athletics not able to play catch, and that resulted in base runners. Those base runners resulted in runs scored, and the Giants able to take advantage of the miscues around every corner. A massive 8th inning. Saw 12 men come to the plate. 8 runs pushed across, capped off by a grand slam off the bat of Harrison Bader. It'll be Joel Peguero on now for the Giants, looking to close this one out.
Geloff 1 for 3. in a 10-1 game. All you can hope for is just a little bit of late inning fight. Good at bats, maybe get a few knocks, scratch one or two across, set yourself up better for the road trip in Anaheim and San Diego.
Well, Chris, I know things have not unfolded the way you'd like to see on the diamond today for the green and gold, but we're not going to let the day go by without wishing our dear friend, a man who has served this organization for 40 proud years, the happiest of birthdays today. That's Mikey Thalbaum, visiting clubhouse manager for the Athletics. He's done a little bit of everything over the years for the A's franchise. There's his son, our man Stewie Thalbaum. As cool as the other side of the pillow. But Mikey, one of the best in the business, does a fantastic job of taking care of the opposition. They come into town, making sure they're clothed and fed. It's big league over there. And Mikey Thalbaum, the man in charge.
One thing that you notice when you come to the A's organization is just the attention to detail on that side of things. Whether it's Mikey, Matty Weiss, of course Mickey Morabito, our traveling secretary, they do not miss a single thing. Driven to left, but Gilbert has to go to a dive to make the catch. Course correcting, Geloff is out. Got any fun SoCal plans, Dallas?
Go home, get to hang out with the family. Go see the family over the next 4 days in Anaheim. Get out to the Big A. Check in with our good friend Mark Gubicza.
Yep, tell him I say hello.
And off to San Diego. See Donnie O and Mud, folks over at Petco. One of the great places to take in a ball game.
Hopefully the A's don't see Mason Miller much at all in that series. Ground ball. Another tough hop. Chapman reads it well. 2 down. A's down to their final out. It's up to Heim. Wave and a miss. Fouled back, down to their final striker, the A's. One more strike, the Giants improved to 20-27. The A's at 500, 23-23. Giants fans on their feet. This should do it. To third, Chapman to first, and San Francisco wins. 10-1. It was a tightly contested game until it wasn't. The wind played a very big factor in the game. And the Giants win the series. Some poor defensive efforts today, but the A's will look to get back in the win column tomorrow against the Angels.
Well, things started out nicely really on both sides of the baseball. Jeffrey Springs got through 6 innings, just 1 earned run, a quality start under the belt of the left-hander. Adrian Hauser on the flip side of things, just as good, if not a little better. 6 innings, 1 earned run allowed himself. But it was the story of the Giants offense, who came up and got big hits, took advantage of some mistakes by the A's defense who has been fundamentally sound all season long. Unfortunately, here during the homestand, we have seen some defensive miscues that have put them in some precarious positions, and the opposition has been able to capitalize more times than not. And the Athletics now sitting at 500.
JT Ginn will take on Walbert Urania. JT coming off of a great start. It's the A's against the Angels starting tomorrow. That's it for us. Hope you have safe passage to Los Angeles, Dallas. Stay tuned. A's Cast on NBC Sports with Chris Townsend and Steve Sachs, presented by Toyota, starts right now.
Bill Parcells would always say, you are what your record says you are. And right now, the Athletics are 500. There's been some good, there's been some bad, and you got a tough road trip coming up. I know the Angels aren't a great baseball team, but it's not going to be easy. 4 eventually comes around to score.
Yeah, it's almost like a walk. I mean, you can't defend an error, you can't defend a walk, and the Giants just made good on every single opportunity that they had. On defense, they were pulling everything out of the hat. This is just one of those games where you would have to play your absolute best to beat them.
And we knew it was going to be a wild game because of the wind, but it really didn't play out. I mean, there was one play for the A's where Cortez got a double. It ended up bringing a run home. But for the most part, the wind didn't play as much havoc until we saw later in the game, like here, this grand slam.
Yes, exactly. And, for all intents and purposes, the wind wasn't much of an issue besides the one with Cortez. But then this one, Harrison Bader, this ball's caught, and you can see the graphic they had earlier.